In the United States, there are approximately 8,000 elected representatives, 535 in the U.S. Congress, and 7,500 in state legislatures. And the corruption is measurable. Each year, 5 of these 8,000 will be convicted of bribery. Surprisingly, none of these convictions show bribes on major legislation like healthcare, gun control, climate, war powers, impeachment, or major tax legislation. Further, for those who claim that the system is run by bribery, 5 convictions is shockingly low, well less than 0.1% per year. When legislation requires 218 votes in the House and at least 50 votes in the Senate, it is not clear what so few bribed votes might accomplish. As a result, scholars who focus on corruption begrudgingly admit that bribery is almost extinct. But this extinction doesn't stop the press from telling tales of living dinosaurs. Despite the evidence, journalists continue to accuse our representatives of bribery bought and sold by campaign financing, donations, etc. But bribery is rare for a reason. Of the 2 main forms of corruption, bribery is the preferred choice of only rookies and fools. To change legislation in Congress, bribes aren't just expensive, but can also lead to prison time. So both parties are terrified that their accomplice might be recording them. Psst, would you change that vote for $20,000? Worse, one bribe gets you only 1 vote of the hundreds required, so costs go through the roof. And yesterday's bribe provides no protection against future legislation. You're gonna need to pay me more for the next one. Fortunately for corrupt and powerful special interests, there's a better way. One far less expensive, far less risky, far easier to contract, and far more effective. It is the other main form of corruption: intimidation. Once made illegal by a number of state constitutions, intimidation has somehow been made kosher. And every major player relies on intimidation exclusively. This is why we don't see bribery on major legislation. There are no bribes available. Major players like billionaires, big oil, Israel, and pharma don't cajole, they attack. Instead of whispering risky and expensive bribe offers to individual legislators, these groups carry a big stick on the cheap, and every legislator steps around these sticks with caution. If some foolhardy rep takes a chance and votes against one of these groups, wham! These groups attack them with everything. They unleash attack ads, push polls, and well-funded propped-up challengers. And the cheapest place to launch these attacks are the primaries, where elections are decided on the cheap. In fact, some of these groups are so menacing and vicious that for decades they rarely need to spend anything at all. As a result, the wealthier and more violent the group, the less money required to corrupt.